They're slimy, serpentine, and strangely captivating. For centuries, eels have slipped through both rivers and human understanding, vanishing into the depths of myth, cuisine, and crime. But in the modern world, these slippery creatures have become something else entirely. A luxury, a cultural icon, and the centerpiece of a global black market worth billions of dollars. In Japan, they call it unagi, a delicacy so beloved that it defines summer cuisine. But in other corners of the world, particularly in Europe and North America, people whisper another name for it: white diamonds. Tiny, translucent baby eels no longer than a finger, fetching prices higher than gold. In 2018, a single kilogram of these glass eels sold for around $35,000 more than bluefin tuna, and almost as much as gold at the time. Yet catching them is only the beginning of a long, risky, and often illegal journey that turns a handful of wriggling creatures into one of the most valuable seafood commodities on Earth. Japan's love affair with eel runs deep. Historical records trace it back more than 1,000 years to an era when poets wrote about unagi as both sustenance and symbol. The ancient scholar Hiraga Genai once promoted eating eel during the summer, claiming it restored energy and strength in the year's hottest days. That tradition continues today. In restaurants like Surogaya in Tokyo, an establishment that has been serving eel for more than 150 years, chefs perform an elegant, disciplined ritual. They slice, skewer, steam, and grill with precision learned only through years of apprenticeship. The dish called kabayaki looks simple at first: filleted eel brushed with sweet soy sauce, grilled over charcoal, and served over rice in a lacquered box known as unagi. But every motion is deliberate, every glaze a sign of mastery. A single serving can cost up to $90, and restaurants may sell 40 or 50 tons of eel each year. The demand is endless, the appetite insatiable. Yet behind this beloved dish lies a darker truth. The Japanese eel Anguilla japonica once filled the rivers of East Asia. Today, overfishing, habitat destruction, and pollution have brought it to the brink of collapse. Dams built across Japan and China have blocked their migratory routes, and changes in ocean currents may be disrupting their mysterious spawning journeys. Since the 1,980 seconds, global eel catches have dropped by more than 75%. Despite decades of study, no one has managed to breed eels efficiently in captivity. They are born in the deep ocean, drift thousands of miles as larvae, and eventually swim upstream into rivers to grow. Even after centuries of fascination, scientists still have never witnessed an eel give birth in the wild. That mystery has become an economic trap because if no one can breed them, the entire industry must rely on capturing wild baby eels each year. Every winter under moonlit tides, fishermen wait for the miracle migration. When the baby eels, known as glass eels, appear, they scoop them from the shallows with nets and buckets. Each handful could be worth thousands of dollars. Once caught, the eels are packed into oxygenated bags and sent to farms across Japan, China, and Taiwan. There they are, carefully raised for 6 to 12 months, fed an expensive blend of fish meal, wheat, soy, and fish oil until they reach market size. For veteran eel farmers like Michio, who has spent 40 years in the trade, it is a labor of patience and precision. You have to think like an eel, he says. Feed them like you'd feed a child. But as wild populations decline, the lure of easy profit draws in more than just fishermen. It attracts smugglers, traffickers, and organized criminal networks. As Japanese eel numbers plummeted, with nearly 70% disappearing since the 1962, traders turned to Europe. The European eel anguilla soon became the next gold rush. Prices skyrocketed, and by the early 2010s, the species was facing the same crisis as its Asian cousin. In 2010, the European Union banned almost all exports of glass eels in an attempt to protect the species. But rather than stop the trade, the ban merely pushed it underground.
You can get up to 100,000 glass eels in one suitcase. And if they're leaving Europe at €1 each, that's £100,000 in your suitcase. And then at the other end, you grow them on in a pond in China, and a year later, that's €1 million worth.
Smugglers began shipping live eels disguised as frozen fish, hidden inside legal seafood containers. One British exporter, Gilbert Koo, was caught in 2020 smuggling more than $68 million worth of glass eels from Spain through the UK to Asia. He labeled the shipments as frozen fish, but inside were millions of live baby eels destined for Chinese fish farms.
You're talking about organised criminality, organised criminal gangs operating multi-million-pound trade.
For organized crime groups, it was the perfect operation: high profit, low risk, and easy concealment. Eels are small, valuable, and easy to transport. Once they reach Asia, they are mixed into legal stocks and sold openly on the market, their illegal origins erased by paperwork. Law enforcement agencies across Europe, from Europol and Interpol to Spain's environmental police, have launched massive crackdowns. But each success only pushes smugglers to find new routes. Malaysia, Vietnam, South Korea, and Hong Kong have all become transit points for this billion-dollar trade. The eels flow one way, the money flows the other, and somewhere in between, nature pays the price. As Europe cracked down, attention shifted to the United States. In Maine, one of only 2 states where baby eel fishing is legal, local rivers turned into scenes of chaos. What was once a quiet seasonal tradition became a lawless gold rush. Fishermen guarded their nets with guns. Dealers carried duffel bags stuffed with cash. Rival crews fought over access to the best fishing spots. A single bucket of elvers, as Americans call glass eels, could fetch hundreds of thousands of dollars. Journalist Bill Trotter of the Bangor Daily News called it the Wild West on water. One of the most infamous figures in Maine's eel trade was Bill Sheldon, known as the grandfather of eel fishing. For decades, he was respected as a pioneer of the local industry, helping to establish regulations and buyers' networks. But in 2017, federal agents launched Operation Broken Glass, a sting targeting eel laundering. Sheldon was convicted for trafficking illegally caught eels from other states and served 6 months in prison. After his release, he expressed regret, even writing poems about the case that made national headlines.
I'm 71 and live my life free from crime. I never did think I'd be doing jail time. Then along came a warden with eels to sell, and tragically into his trap I soon fell.
I never thought I'd do jail time, he wrote. Then along came a warden with eels to sell, and into his trap I fell. Today, Maine's eel industry is one of the most tightly regulated in the world. Every fisherman must have a license. Every sale is logged electronically. The state can track who caught each eel, when and to whom it was sold. But despite stricter rules, temptation remains. With a global eel population in freefall, scarcity only drives up the price, and that price keeps the black market alive. Meanwhile, scientists and conservationists are racing against time. Across Asia, new projects are building eel ladders, small aquatic passageways that help the fish bypass dams and reach spawning grounds. Some programs release adult eels back into the wild, hoping to encourage natural reproduction. In Japan, researchers have successfully bred eel larvae in labs, but raising them to adulthood remains costly and inefficient. Until that mystery is solved, every eel eaten in Japan will still begin as a wild-caught baby. The International Union for Conservation of Nature now lists the Japanese eel as endangered and the European eel as critically endangered. Yet consumption continues. In Tokyo, the scent of grilled kabayaki still fills the air each summer, while across the world, smugglers still pack live eels into hidden containers bound for Asia. The more their numbers decline, the more valuable they become. It is a perfect storm of culture, commerce, and crime. Eels embody one of the strangest paradoxes in modern conservation. Their rarity increases their worth, and that worth fuels further exploitation. The more we try to save them, the more we seem to want them. It's the same destructive cycle that drives the trade in elephant ivory, rhino horn, pangolin scales, and rosewood greed feeding extinction feeding greed. Whether it's a $90 bowl of unagi in Tokyo or a suitcase full of baby eels passing through Hong Kong, these creatures have become symbols of our endless hunger for wealth, for taste, for control over nature. They represent both the beauty of tradition and the cost of indulgence. To eat eel in Japan is to participate in a ritual older than the nation itself. To smuggle them is to gamble with the law, the ecosystem, and the future. Somewhere tonight, a chef in Tokyo is carefully brushing sauce over a glistening eel. While halfway across the world, a fisherman crouches on a dark riverbank waiting for the tide to bring in his fortune. Between them lies a story of mystery, survival, and temptation. A story that began in the ocean depths and now stretches across the globe. As long as people crave the taste of unagi, and as long as there's money to be made, the world's most slippery fish will remain caught between two worlds, one of reverence and one of ruin. The eel is more than a delicacy. It is a mirror reflecting human desire for luxury, for profit, for something just beyond our grasp. And in that reflection, we might see the truth that what slips away from us isn't only the eel, but the balance between what we take from the natural world and what we give back. But here's the real question. When a single plate of grilled unagi can cost more than a worker's weekly wage, and when that same eel may have been smuggled halfway across the world through a billion-dollar black market, is this still a celebration of culture or a quiet crime against nature itself? Should we continue to honor tradition no matter the cost? Or finally admit that our appetite is pushing one of the planet's most mysterious creatures toward extinction? Tell us what you think is the eel, a symbol of heritage or of human greed. From the smallest rivers to the vast open sea, every creature carries a story of life, of adaptation, and of how deeply humanity shapes the natural world. The tale of the eel is not just about an expensive delicacy, but a reminder of the cost of greed and our shared responsibility to protect nature. At BlueDiscover, we believe that knowledge is power. The power to understand, to change, and to protect this blue planet we all call home. Each video is more than a journey of discovery. It's a lesson about the fragile balance between humans and the world that sustains us. If you believe that awareness can save the world, then subscribe to BlueDiscover and join us as we uncover new perspectives, real stories, and the lessons Earth is quietly trying to teach us. BlueDiscover, where knowledge begins and awakening never ends.